Okay, so today I am talking about Neon Glitch again. So the entity that I created, Neon Glitch, is an indie record label. It's for new and up and coming. It's for new up and coming artists, and it addresses the problem of lack of attention for smaller artists who are signed to major labels, and then a lack of any relationship or healthy relationships between the artist and the label. Since doing these assignments and thinking more into what this process and sustainable business model would actually look like, my thinking has changed in the sense that I know that progress will be slow, given the nature of the business and the non-competitive funding, as obviously this independent label would not have nearly as much funding as a major label, but that's okay. And maintaining realistic expectations that will yield high success and sustainability for the future. So how exactly is money coming in for us? So money will be coming in via royalties that are agreed upon, that a split is agreed upon between the artist and the label, potentially sync licensing opportunities, label or artist merch if we get a cut of that as well, and then potentially if we do like throw a show for our roster of artists to get them some exposure and some brand awareness for our label itself. So from that we would get ticket sales profits. What is required to maintain sustainability at the basic level of this business? So we would need money for equipment and the studio. We would need a salary or money for salaries for our employees. We would need a marketing budget, even on a smaller scale. But we would be doing lean operations. Well, we would be running lean operations, obviously, with strict financial management. Ownerships and protections that matter most early on would include establishment of the copyright ownership split between the artist and the label, what that is, negotiating that and things like that. Whether or not to add in an inducement clause if the artist is entering into the deal using a loan out or furnishing company like an LLC. And then parental assent and guarantee if we are entering into a deal with a minor, someone under the age of 18. Who would be involved and where would you need support? So I would likely involve collaborators and co-founders. These would consist of ambitious individuals who take initiative, have a passion for music, prioritize quality work, and have social skills for networking. That's kind of where I would need extra support with social skills, social battery at things like networking events. And then having these collaborators would allow us to diversify our skill set as a company, and also give us some leeway in being able to delegate tasks and not have too much work built up for one person. What is the funding approach and what funding approach feels most realistic right now? So self-funding and bootstrapping is the most realistic. Bringing in whatever we can to be able to start this business, and reinvesting the profit back into our business to allow for growth without external debt. This makes sense because since we are in the early stage of this business, minimal to no debt is crucial in setting our label up for future success. I would avoid overspending and overpromising. Overspending is a recipe for disaster, and financial stress can lead to decreased attention for the artist, with large pressure on them to overperform in order to compensate for the overspending, which is completely unfair. And a huge part of the label is to have those healthy relationships with the artist. And that would just be counterintuitive. And then overpromising leads to disappointment and lack of trust, again, weakening the label artist relationship. What would funding give us? So funding allows us to provide opportunities and resources for our artists. Less financial stress equals more attention for the artist equals better relationship, which is one of the biggest values and missions goals of this label. What might this business cost? It will definitely cost time, attention, energy, flexibility, and pressure, but that's the name of the game. And there is a reason why we are doing this, why we are getting into this business, because we believe in artists and we want to see underdogs succeed and have fair opportunities. That's why these trade-offs align with our goals and values, and that's why it's worth it. What feels clear about launching now? Strategic financial planning is crucial to success, along with handpicking a team that aligns with my goals and values. Obviously, things can't just become a true overnight success. It takes time, it takes nurture, and I think staying true to ourselves and our values is what's going to allow us to maintain that success and allow for an upward trend of growth over time. I think long-term sustainability is more important than short-term success. The things that feel uncertain but manageable and would be the success of these artists' careers during and after development, thus the success of the label itself. But with time, effort, and attention, all we can do is remain optimistic and hope that it will work. There's no way to calculate or push a button or ask the magic mirror if this artist's career will skyrocket, but we'll do our best and put in everything we have to give them the best chance at success. Questions I would ask before committing our resources. Those would include asking the artist what they're looking for from a label, and then reflecting on if we can provide that. How old are they? Reflecting on if we would need parental assent to be able to enter into that deal and it not be voidable, and things like that. What type of resources the artist needs are another question. How can we best support them? What do they feel we can do to best support them? Ask them if they currently have any music released. Is it registered through a distributor? Have they done any of that admin work, or is there money sitting out there waiting to be collected by them? What do they want out of their career? How much of their copyright are they expecting to keep? Do they have an LLC? Would they plan on entering into this agreement with an LLC? And have they collaborated or been in a group or a band of some sort? And are they tied up in a different agreement with that group or band? So those are my questions for the artists if potentially thinking about entering into a deal with them. Thank you.